Alright, let's do some more operations on functions. So let's go ahead and start with a problem here. We're going to say that we have g of x is equal to x squared plus 1 minus 2x, and h of x is equal to x minus 5, and this one's going to be slightly more complicated than what we've done before. We want to find 2 times g of negative 7 minus 2 times h of negative 7. So that's our problem right there. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is figure out what 2 of g of negative 7 would be. So we're going to put a 2 out in front since there's this 2 right here, and we're going to multiply the entire g of negative 7, whatever that is, times that 2. So let's look at our function g, and everywhere we see an x we're going to put a negative 7. So we have negative 7 squared plus 1 minus 2 times negative 7. Alright, so let's see here. 2 times g of negative 7 is equal to this big 2. We have 49 plus 1 plus 14. And that's going to give us 2 times 64. And that gives us 128. Alright, so we're going to hang on to that for later. The second thing we want to do is figure out what 2 of h of negative 7 is. So we do the same thing, put a 2 out in front, and we're going to put in a negative 7 everywhere we see x in the function h. So this one's a little simpler. So that gives us 2 times negative 12, or negative 24. Alright, from here we can use what we got when we evaluated the two functions to figure out the answer to our problem. So I'm going to write what we're looking for here. 2 times g of negative 7 minus 2 times h of negative 7, and that equals 128 from right here minus negative 24. It's going to become a plus, and so my answer is 2 times g of negative 7 minus 2 times h of negative 7 is equal to 152. And we'll circle that up after doing all that work. Alright, let's look at another one here. Let's see. We'll just scroll down. This time we're going to have just one function. We're going to have f of x is equal to negative x cubed plus 5, and we want to find 3 times f of 2 plus 5. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this work here. So I'm going to figure out, there's a lot of different ways you can do this, but I want to figure out what f of 2 is worth first. So let's see, we have negative, in place of the x we're going to put a 2, we're going to cube it, and we're going to add 5, and that gives us a negative 8 plus 5, which equals negative 3. So that's what f of 2 is worth. And then what we want to do here is figure out what 3, oops, we use a different color, 3 of f of 2 plus 5 is. So we have 3. In place of this f of 2 right here, we know that's worth negative 3 because we figured that out right there. So I'm going to put a negative 3 right there and then add 5. And so that gives us negative 9 plus 5, which gives us negative 4. So the answer to my question that I was originally asked then is that 3 times f of 2 plus 5 more is equal to negative 4. Alright, let's see here. Let's look at another problem. This time we have two functions. We're going to say g of x is equal to x plus 5. We're going to say that h of x is equal to 2x plus 1. And we want to figure out, or we want to find rather, g of 4x minus h of 4x. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's figure out what g of 4x is first. I'm going to put 4x in everywhere we see x in our function g. So it's pretty simple for this one. G of 4x is 4x plus 5. Then we want to find h of 4x. So that gives us 8x plus 1. And now let's actually answer our question. So let's see, we'll use blue, why not? If I want to find g of 4x minus h of 4x, g of 4x is 4x plus 5, minus sign because I'm subtracting. H of 4x is 8x plus 1, and so we have 4x plus 5. We actually have to distribute the negative sign. So we have minus 8x minus 1, and when we combine like terms here we end up with negative 4x plus 4. So I'm going to say that g of 4x minus h of 4x is equal to negative 4x plus 4. And that's the answer to my problem. Alright, we have one last problem here. I've already written it out on the video, so you can see we have two functions f and g, and we want to find f of negative n minus g of negative n. Alright, so let's go ahead and evaluate both of these functions. F of negative n is going to equal negative 3 times negative n plus 4, and so that gives us 3n plus 4. G of negative n is going to give us negative n minus 5, and that's actually what it is. It's negative n minus 5. Alright, so the last part here is to figure out what we're looking for, which is f of negative n minus g of negative n. F of negative n is 3n plus 4. We're subtracting g of negative n, which is negative n minus 5. Notice I put it in parentheses because that tells me that I need to distribute right there. So let's write what we have here. F of negative n minus g of negative n, looks like an m but we're calling it an n, is 3n plus 4 plus n when we distribute plus 5, and therefore our final answer is (4n plus 9) when we combine like terms.